All right. Go ahead.
Okay, this is Alberto Correa again. This is my Route 66 Museum in San Bernardino, and we just started opening this. We're not really fully ready to go yet, but this originally was our Juan Pollo in 1986. When I came to town, this was our restaurant. The front counter was right here. And you see that was where our exhaust hood was. We cooked the chicken right there. And 5 years ago, I moved next door because we got too busy. So what I did was I'm starting to turn this into a Route 66 museum. And if you see what I do, I'm collecting a lot of things about the route because we are on the actual Route 66. And there's a big movement. It's becoming very popular for Route 66. And so we've been collecting these things. A lot of these are donated. These are actual gas pumps from Texaco gas station. These have to be from the 1920s. So I had these. Everything here right now has been donated. And this is another pump. Actually, these are oil pumps. This is used to pump up the oil. They put the oil for the cars. Up here, what I have is some pictures. Some of these are Juan Pollo. This is our promotional poster from 1990. And this from 2002. These are some of the workers. So because I'm with Juan Pollo and because we're on the route, so we kind of tie in with the Route 66. And every year in front of our McDonald's museum, we do a Cruise in East Street event. That is an annual parade. We honor the veterans of any war, the World War II, Korean War, the Gulf Wars. And we have close the street down near Veterans Day. And we have a actual parade, and we pay for everything. We're trying to give back to the community. And so what this museum is, we're trying to make this museum specific to San Bernardino because in the last 4, 5, 6 years, a lot of people are doing Route 66 museum. And because we're in San Bernardino, and because San Bernardino is considered, has not been very popular, or people look down on it from Los Angeles, we try to promote what happened in San Bernardino. And in the early days, San Bernardino was one of the major towns in California. Everyone that came into California prior to 1961, when it was Route 66, they had to come right through San Bernardino. If they came from any of the states in the east, to the east of the state, this was the main way in, so San Bernardino was always a hub for everything. In the last 20 years, San Bernardino has gone downhill, but there's a lot of people trying to just point out the history and what happened in San Bernardino. Even some of these things, San Bernardino was one of the birthplaces of cruising and cars, and these are some of the nameplates of the car clubs that were in town, and really a lot of these car shows, car events, they had the roots in San Bernardino. Up here again is some of our promotional posters. This one here is the town Amboy, Route 6 town Amboy. That's one I own. That's our Miss Black Juan Pollo. She's Desi, and that's our promotional car. That was taken maybe 3, 4 years ago. And the next picture over is Gina Elise. She does pins for veterans, which she volunteers all the time. Every year she makes a calendar, and she sells all the proceeds, or the proceeds all go to veterans. She goes to veterans hospitals, and she donates everything she makes off of that to give back to the veterans. And these are some of our other promotional materials. That was in 1999. We do a lot of promotion. We get involved in a lot of parades. That was a 4th of July parade in 1999. We had a promotional race car. We had the chicken costume. And that was posted for that time. Here is some more pumps, oil pumps, and these have to be dating from the 1920s also. And we started to have a collection of other things from the 50s, 60s. This is one of the jukebox. This is like a 1960s jukebox, and so we're collecting those type of things. When I came to San Bernardino, the first major chain department store was the Harris Company. This is a picture of Harris, and for the longest time that was one of the major department stores in San Bernardino. Everybody that lived out here, they went shopping at this department store. Unfortunately, time passed them by, so they closed up, and they never became the major chain. But we collected some of the things because everyone that grew up in San Bernardino, they would shop at Harris. So anybody that's older than 30, 40 years old, they remember this. This is one of the actual street stop sign. Now this flashing off around, but this was actual street, I think from the 1920s, and I don't know what street it came from. What we did, we mounted it, we got the lights flashing, but this was on the street corner, and it was one of the its original sign from street sign from San Bernardino. And this is one of those soda fountains. Before they did bottled soda, the stores, they would mix the soda, each soda, the carbonated water would come out here, and they add the flavor, and they'd mix it with a little spoon. So all the restaurants that would use this to serve the sodas. And so this is really from this one here has to be from the 1940s. And over here, some of the things in here, these are old license plates. These are actual license plates from California. And I'm not sure what the years of my. I didn't collect these. My guy that collects them is not here. I know this was 1921. This is 1921. This is 1926, and that was 1921. The white ones I'm not sure, but I think they are older. And this red one is probably the oldest one. That was from 1914 and 1915. And so what we're doing here is collecting something local to the area. Over here, over here you can't see too good, but I have some photos in the early days. The Santa Fe Railroad ran right through town, and that was one of the major hubs going into LA. So there's a big train station just half a mile to the south of us. And these are some of the actual workers. That was a railroad station, or we have some station shots, and we have a couple of pictures in here. Over here, are just some of the posters we're carrying for the Route 66. We have some original typewriters. These came out of San Bernardino. This has to be the early 1910s typewriter. And they don't make typewriters anymore, so they have these computers. And these are a little bit newer. And what I want to show you over here, this John Weeks, he's a local newspaper man. And what he did was he wrote a book about San Bernardino. In 2010, San Bernardino had a 200-year anniversary, which makes it one of the oldest towns in California that's actually incorporated. And what he did was he went decade by decade writing a book about San Bernardino. And so I got the book and I clipped out the important pages, and I put them here for everyone to see. This is from 1810 to 1851, how it was founded. And most of the early settlers were the Mormons, and they settled the town. That noise here, that is the old steam whistle for the railroad, Santa Fe Railroad. It's a historic thing. It's a historic thing, and they usually had that go off every at 8 o'clock, 5 and 12 o'clock, and 5 o'clock. 8 o'clock when it's supposed to be at work, 12 o'clock for lunch, and 5 o'clock when they're off. So that was like a timepiece, and they restored that. They don't really need that now, but they restored that steam whistle, and that was a famous landmark. Even though if you go outside, you can't talk for a while. I have to wait till it stops. So back to this. What John Weeks did, he wrote decade by decade. So I clipped them out. This is the 1850s, the 1860s. And it talks about every 10 years what was going on in San Bernardino. The 1870s, the 1880s, 1890s. And then he takes a break. He puts some special things here, like the Citrus Empire. In the early days, the whole area was founded by oranges. So we got famous for having all these orange groves. Very few are left now, but in the early days, oranges was the main export. And then in the 1870s, they had the Santa Fe Railroad came in. And for a long time, that was one of the major employers is the railroad station, because we had a lot of commerce going through, a lot of shipping. And during World War II, up until the 90s, there was a Norton Air Force Base, because as the United States Air Force got busier and busier, especially during the war, they used this as their Air Force Base. And they closed this down in 1992. Now on some of these other things, he talks about the first 100 years. So we did a little chapter on the 100-year anniversary, which was 1910. So this was going on in 1910. And then also, the Inland Empire was known for two things: was the cruising and the fact that McDonald's started in San Bernardino. So he wrote a chapter on the drive-through, which talks about McDonald's. That is where our office is. That's our current office, and the cruising, because a lot of this cruising, hot rod and cruising, started in the San Bernardino area. And you see, these are some of the. They have a car show over here called Rendezvous, and this is sponsored by the city, and and hot rods come from all over to relive the cruising days. And this chapter talks a little bit about some of the celebrities who passed through, Lucille Ball and Sophia Loren, and the figure skater Anton Apollo Ono. He was from here. Well, actually, that's Derek Parra. Anton Apollo Ono was his friend. And then we get to the 1900s. How it was going in the 1900s. 1910s. That's our county courthouse. 1920s, 1930s, and 40s, and the 50s, and even the 60s. So this is where I ended, even though they went to 2010. Because I'm trying to concentrate on local history prior to during the Route 66 era. Route 66 officially stopped, was decommissioned in 1971. So so I concentrated really up to the 60s. That's when Route 66 was king. And even over here on this side, on this hallway here, what I did was we have a collection of photos from cars from the 50s and 40s and 60s. And so, because a lot of people weren't born then, so they like it when they see these cars, and these are actual pictures of cars. And in the middle row here, this is actual places and events on our Route 66. And the bottom three rows are more pictures of cars. And so if you see right here, there's these pictures of sites of Route 66 in California Route 66, starting with here. Right down the road, there's that Wigwam, and that's just a bit further. The closest thing is the Wigwam Motel, which is the motels which are famous. And then they go up to the pass into Victorville, up to the desert. And eventually when you're in the desert, there's Amboy, that's my town. I own that town, and there's a picture of Amboy. And so they have different scenes of the route of California. And then so we kind of collect this and it ends up somewhere in the Mojave Desert. That's where the California part ends, in the Mojave Desert. And even over here, these are some of the original signs by Route 66 guy, Danny Castro. He's the one that collected most of these things. These are his signs, and these are actual signs from the county. And he saved most of them, and some of these when the reflectors are really old. He told me when they had these reflectors built in, those are extra old. I don't know what year it is, but all these are actual signs that were on the route. And then this side here we have more shots of even motorcycles and speed limit sign. And what Danny did was, along Route 66, because he works for county roads, he designed a prototype to put this on the road. So they spray this on the road. This is the template. And this is his original template that he copied, so the county has taken over doing that. So along the route, if you drive Route 66, you'll see a lot of these painted on the road. This is from Danny. He designed that. And also Danny, what he did was he collected a lot of postcards and memorabilia from San Bernardino. These are all his collections. He started with early pictures of businesses in San Bernardino. And this is the downtown area. And he's been collecting all these pictures. And this is the downtown area. These are all shots of the area downtown. And and this was actually a brochure saying in the 20s and 10s of California and San Bernardino was trying to promote tourism or trying to promote people to move here. So they were making these little brochures promoting the city. So Danny kept these. This is 1927. They talked about the climate because they know if they talk to people in the other states and back east, it snows all the time, it's cold, so they always tell them how nice the temperature is in the summertime, in the springtime, and winter, and so they wanted people to come populate the city. And so they would promote, put these out all the time, and then promoting all the cities, all the buildings that were in town. And this is one that's from the backside of the 1927. So this is the cover area they would use. These pages were all in the brochure. And then what Danny also did, he started collecting postcards. These are all actual postcards. These are all the postmarks on the back and the writing. And these are the dates. This is 1927, 1912. This is probably the oldest one in here, 1906. So that's over 105 years, 107 years old. And these are all things that Danny has collected. 1910, 1943, 1912. And he has some more over here. Oh, these were little packages. And in those days, the city had a little fold-out one where they wanted to promote the city. So they had a bunch of postcards in there one time, and they folded it up and you could mail the whole package. So this one was 1924. And the real purpose is to show people back east, to get people to live here, mail it to relatives so they see how nice everything looks. And then starting in 1910, because there's so many oranges growing here, so many orange groves, they started doing an orange show festival. So then it's still going on today, even though there aren't too many orange groves around anymore in San Bernardino. In the 20s and 30s, the oranges were everywhere. And so every year they have an orange festival. And these are some of the brochures that Danny has collected. This is 1953, 1954, 1954. Same thing, these are picture postcards they can send out to their friends showing what they did have these festivals. Everyone made fruit displays. And it was a big event. Everyone from the whole county would come by to see the orange shows. Because this is the biggest thing in town, or the whole county in those days. And so they every year everyone make displays, and these are all made out of fruit. And over here, see, this is a couple more of the Route 66 signs. These are the newer ones, but these are actual signs. This is one. Also, when I started the museum, I met him. This is actual Schwinn bike. He restores a bicycle. Schwinn is the most famous American bicycle, and everybody wants authentic Schwinns. I don't know what model that is. He told me once he restores it, they're very valuable. And he donated another Schwinn. What he did, he donated it to put on display. So if he ever wants it back, I'll give it back to him. But he wanted to put that on display to show people what this is typical 1950s. And then Danny also collected these bottles. In the early days, all the bottles were custom made, so you see they had the name of the business on there, and so it made specific for the companies. This says San Bernardino on it. I can't read that, but so they had this one was from Riverside, which is close by, and this one here is a little medicine bottle or something, but it's a prescription drugs in San Bernardino, California. So all the early days, the bottles had names on it. This one's from Redlands, which is right over there. And this file has a little bit newer. This is printed. This is San Bernardino. And so Danny's collected all these bottles, and these are getting very, very rare because, who has any bottles these days? And also he's collected all these other photos, some more photos of the area. And even the barbershop guy next door, he bought a car. This is one of the original Chevrolet car dealers in San Bernardino. So the owner's son donated these photos, so this is his personal photos, his personal information here. And even over here, Danny has some more of there was little, they had the midget auto races over at the Orange Show, and they do a little racing, little go-kart race, almost like a go-kart. So he saved some of these brochures out of there. That was from the Orange Show Stadium, which is where the Orange Show was. And he has a picture. This is where the Orange Show is, and I think this photo was probably from the 1920s. And this is where the Orange Show is, and right now it's all part of the downtown area. And even over here, Danny's collected some of these actual cans. Route 66 motor oil, which is very rare. This is Whiting Brothers. That was one of the original gas station chains that were along Route 66 in the in the 20s, 30s. And he has some Route 66 transmission oil. And he even has these. These are from drive-in theaters, the speakers, but it's from the drive-in theaters. And then also he has these. These are actual soda dispensers, and this was missing the inside, but these are like 5 cents, so this has to be old. When it was 5 cents, that was really cheap. And this Coca-Cola one here, I think it has the parts in it. See, this is how these soda machines work. That was a Pepsi one. This is a Coca-Cola one. And you put the money in, and then it releases a little lever right here, because you can slide one bottle over here, and it releases it, and the bottle come out right here, and you pick it up and you open it. So this is a refrigerator. These are the earliest refrigerated vending machines, but you had to stick your hand in there and push the bottle over, push what you want, put it over there. You put your nickel in there. Actually, this one here is 15 cents better than this. That has to be older. And then you pull your bottle out, and then you use your can opener. So Danny collected one of them a Coke and one Pepsi. And then next door, he's not here right now, but this is a barber shop, and he's collecting barbershop. He does antique razor cuts like they used to do in the 1930s, 1940s, where you get a razor blade and do shaving with a razor. And Jerry's off today. This is Sunday, and usually he works Sunday through Sunday through Saturday, or wait a minute, Tuesday through Saturday. And he's trying to get barbershop museum to collect old museum pieces. And if you see in there that the painting on the wall, that was original dining room for Juan Pollo. That's why it has those scenes from Mexico. And so he left them on there because even now we're getting to be historical too, because that was painted in 1988. So already that's getting up there in age. So it's about 25 years old right there. And so we're right now we're still collecting, and what my goal is to get more and more things specific. And actually we run a video too. It's off right now. Put the control. Actually, we have they taped the show. A lot of people come tape the local cable show. They did a 1-hour show on this museum and Route 66, and so we play that. And actually, Jerry knows. I'm looking for the control. We usually play that on all the days we're open. Today we don't have staffing right today. I don't know where to put that. Find out. It's having remote control to turn that on. It's supposed to be up there. So let's skip that. But that'll be on every day we're open. And right now we're in the early process, so I don't really have the staffing. And but my original plan was to put a souvenir counter back here and sell maybe ice cream to tourists. So we have somebody here that can answer questions, do the tour, you know. And so I just really opened this in last year, and so little by little, because I've been in this location since 1986, so it will get more and more popular, or I will get more and more in here as time goes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.